Good afternoon and welcome to the Quays Christmas special. I'm Ellie Doward.
And I'm Martin Griffiths. Coming up on today's show, we join Santa Claus on the flight of dreams for Manchester's disadvantaged children.
75 years on, we remember the Manchester Christmas Blitz.
And we find out your best and indeed worst Christmas cracker jokes.
Welcome to the Quays Christmas special. Over 130 children from disadvantaged backgrounds across Greater Manchester were given an early Christmas present by the charity Cash for Kids. They boarded a plane that would take them on a Christmas adventure to meet Santa. Our reporter Carly Foster checked in.
All aboard the flight to dreams.
Christmas has come early for these kids. They're high in the sky over Manchester on the flight of their dreams.
As you can see, everyone here behind me is super excited for takeoff and to see that one very special person. I hope he's not scared of heights.
We hear a rumour that Santa's flying around somewhere in the Irish Sea, so we're going to go and try and track him down.
The trip, organised by Key 103's charity Cash for Kids, gives children from disadvantaged backgrounds and their families the chance to take off from their home troubles and see what it's like above the clouds.
We can't change poverty, but we are trying to make it a little bit better for those families in Manchester who will be waking up on Christmas Day without anything. We've had a great response really. We always say mission, it's not Key 103's mission anymore, it's Manchester's mission, and everybody just really gets together, and I think as a city we just all pull together.
Nearly 1 in 3 children in England live in poverty. Manchester has the 4th highest child poverty rate in the UK, with statistics as high as 44%. Stephen, Beverly and their kids were one of the families on board the flight. 2.5 years ago, their son Alfie caught a bug, which left him with kidney failure and brain damage. He spent the last 1.5 years in Manchester Children's Hospital fighting for his life. Cash for Kids made sure Alfie and his 8-year-old sister Ellie May, who stood by his bedside, had presents to open on Christmas morning. Since Alfie's illness, Stephen had to give up his job to become a full-time carer for his son, leaving only Beverly's part-time wage to support them.
Since he's got poor, and it's completely changed our lives. You want to be able to provide for your family, and that's what you feel your role is. That's what my role's always been. And you struggle all the time, and you don't know there's help out there. People don't know what help they're entitled to, what they can get, and and just things like this with the Cash for Kids. Just having a gift there for your kids, and knowing, and for the siblings as well, and just something for them to have for Christmas Day, and you've got something to open.
It's been tough for all the family, even Ellie May, who misses playing with her brother.
The way it's difficult is because I always try to do stuff from Mum and Steve, but they're always focusing on Alf because suction, oxygen, SATs. Yesterday was probably one of the best days for Alf because it was his first time on an aeroplane. But I don't know if that was the real Santa or not. I think Alfie beat mine, but I don't know if Alfie was asleep or not.
Either way, Alfie and over 130 other children were given some Christmas magic before flying back to Manchester. Carly Foster, Quays TV News.
Now, the days leading up to Christmas in 1940 were devastating and difficult for those living in Manchester. During the so-called Christmas Blitz, 650 people died and 50,000 homes were damaged. Siobhan Maguire takes a look back at the devastating events and discovers how the people of Manchester pulled the city back onto its feet again.
The flames of war eat at the heart of Manchester.
Looking at some of Manchester's iconic buildings today, it's hard to imagine them in ruins 75 years ago after a bombing blitz hit the city 2 days before Christmas. The Free Trade Hall, now a luxury hotel. This was the Cooperative Building on Balloon Street, now an updated version of the same building. The Royal Exchange, where much trade was done. today a theatre. And Manchester's Cathedral, where a landmine exploded on the 23rd of December 1940.
After the devastation, people really did question whether or not the cathedral could survive it or whether or not it should be rebuilt. And the Dean of the day actually, in an editorial, went out to the people of Manchester and said, you have to tell me that you want your old church back. And thankfully, the response was yes, and a £100,000 appeal was set up.
Firefighters have been remembered for their dedication during the Christmas Blitz. But ordinary people played a huge role as well. Volunteers helped put out the fires and handed out supplies to the thousands that had now been made homeless.
Volunteers were responsible for first aid. For example, ARP wardens would have been responsible for first aid and wounds and injuries, and that's why we have a first aid kit on display here that belonged to an ARP warden. But also volunteers would have become part of their AFS, or the Auxiliary Fire Service, so they were a support to the National Fire Service.
This window behind, the fire window, was installed in 1966 on the 1st of July, and that was to commemorate the fantastic work done by the fire services, including volunteers, over that period and throughout the war.
Manchester was rebuilt, and even though it's had its tough times since, the people have never given up.
Manchester is justly proud of its unshakable men and women.
Siobhan Maguire, Quays TV News.
Now, from the past, we come back to the present. The charity Walking with the Wounded is raising funds for the re-education and retraining of our wounded servicemen and women. Francesca Eagleton went to find out more.
Walking with the Wounded was recently featured on DIY SOS, where it took blood, sweat and tears to rebuild these once run-down houses. Now they're finished, and the rehabilitation of injured veterans is well underway. With an advice centre right on the street, Walking with the Wounded say that they're already starting to create a new sense of community.
So that shows that there's a sense of community, being together and trying to look out for each other, and which sometimes is difficult to get.
So it's like as well the community here, not just the veterans but the residents, even they can go to the sports centre as well, speak to Gary, Sophie, and the help's there for them, not just us. So it's about bringing everyone together.
Every year the charity holds a Walking Home for Christmas event. Manchester's Mayor Paul Murphy spoke about the number of homeless veterans sleeping on the streets in the city.
In terms of ex-soldiers, I can assure you that there is a real desire within the City Council here in Manchester to ensure that they're not homeless, and of course you've seen the development at Canada Street, and that will guarantee certainly a number of them good steady homes for a good time to come. But what we must do always is honour these men and women who've laid down their lives in some cases, and those that have not laid down their lives have come back in not the best of conditions. We owe them.
Dozens of veterans and volunteers participated in the walk from the city centre to Canada Street, where they were met by the Military Wives Choir. Their charity single, a cover of the Proclaimers' 500 Miles, was released last week, with all proceeds going to Walking with the Wounded and the Military Wives Foundation. The Christmas campaign will see not only people here in Manchester, but across the UK, swapping their cars, the train and the metro for walking boots and Santa hats, challenging their friends and colleagues to take on the Proclaimers and walk their version of 500 miles. Raising money for veterans who don't have a home to walk to this Christmas. Francesca Eagleton, reporting for Quays News.
So on the 12th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me bankruptcy, or certain hefty Christmas bill. Each year, the Christmas Price Index calculates how much the famous Christmas Carol costs each year in the US.
Joining us in the studio is Dan McLaughlin, who has worked out the UK equivalent of the Christmas Price Index. So tell us, what is the Christmas Index?
So, well, what is the true cost of Christmas? Family? Friends? Love? The story of the little baby Jesus? I don't know. Well, according to the PNC Bank in America, it costs around $27,000 each year. But the Christmas Price Index measures the cost of the festive carol, the 12 days of Christmas, year on year. I've done my own calculations. There isn't a UK equivalent, but I decided last year and this year to do my own.
So how much would the first day cost?
The first day, as you know, it's a partridge in a pear tree. So the pear tree would cost about £30 rather, and the partridge is £75. So £105 already spent on the first day.
Yeah, so you are set back quite a lot on the first day then.
Yeah.
So that said, which is the most expensive day?
The most expensive day is the 7 swans a swimming. They're about £700 each. No, sorry, £500 each. So that's 7 days of £500. That's £3,500 spent on the 7th day, a weekend.
Yeah, I think some people might think that the gold rings might have been the most expensive day.
Yeah, but that's the thing with the gold rings. The cost of gold will go up each year or go down. It depends. It's like the minimum wage as well. So last year the minimum wage was £6.50 an hour. This year it's about £6.70 an hour. So that's a contribution to going up and up and up each year.
So do you think that people are buying more expensive Christmas presents as the years go on?
I don't know. It's every person's shopping habits change each year. It could be food. It could be preparing for the Christmas dinner. But people are trying to tighten the belts at the moment, but around Christmas they tend to splash out. And each year the Christmas price index goes up.
And will you be receiving any turtle doves this Christmas?
Just the old peace and goodwill for me. It sounds like a Miss Worlds there, but, but I don't know. 5 gold rings would be nice.
Peace and goodwill sound like very good presents indeed. Now, Scrooge showed us that the festive period can be a time for turning over a new leaf. If you found yourself in a little bit of trouble this week, then bread making might be your answer.
An ex-offender has turned her life around by making the stuff and has now opened her own artisan bakery in the little town of Littleborough. Bradley Harris went along to see the rising star at work.
This is the Barker Baker, an artisan bakery set up, owned and run by ex-offender Francesca Barker. She learned the art of baking from her probation course, something she never thought would happen.
I was made to go on a baking course to learn how to bake bread by Greater Manchester Probation Service, who, whilst I was on probation, said, "Fran, you enjoy cooking, you want to get into catering, how about this baking course?" So I reluctantly went on it and accidentally fell in love.
Now earning an honest crust, she's determined to give others a second chance, already employing one ex-offender with plans to employ another.
People should and can learn from Aunt Fran's experience and her being such a young lady. Anybody can do it, and I'm sure that she'll agree that she wouldn't have envisaged herself in this position a few years ago, and I wish her well, and I hope that we proceed on to better things. And I thank her very much for giving me the opportunity and taking me on.
But it's not easy for everyone. Top sea baker Jackie explains how a baking course could help young offenders transform their lives.
I've worked for 15 years now with kids who've offended, so I know the system inside out. I know the bad things about it, and I know when kids say something negative that it can be true. The youth justice system is not all great, and it's not often that you get something concrete and material like a baking course that you can offer. And when you can tie into that kid's interest and give them that self-determination, it works. It's not rocket science, is it?
It may not be rocket science to some, but clearly more work needs to be done, and the Barker Baker might just be the inspiration many have been waiting for. Bradley Harris, Quays TV News in Littleborough.
A world record attempt for the Royal Manchester Children's Hospital didn't quite break any records, but they still managed to raise money for charity.
The world record for the most Christmas jumpers worn in one place is currently held by Loughborough University. 1,200 people were needed, but only 40 turned up. The organiser of the event says he is determined to make it work next year.
A good pilot attempt. This has been a good attempt for next year, because what we're going to do, we're going to make sure we have more of a street party effect. So we're going to get some stalls out, there'll be some drinks, food, and people can participate in more of a Christmassy atmosphere. So I think getting along with a few different agencies and different people, I think it should go quite well.
At Christmas, one of the main events is the Christmas dinner, sitting with the family, eating food, drinking mulled wine, but we can't forget the crackers with the awful jokes, the bizarre gifts inside them. So we sent one of our reporters out into Manchester to pull some crackers with the public and to find out how bad some of the jokes really are.
Is this on? Hello, I'm Jack Leno and we're out on the streets of Manchester finding out people's favourite cracker jokes. It's time to crack a joke. Pull a cracker. Go on.
Always.
Oh, you can have it. You can have it anyway. It's your happy birthday.
What happened when the snow girl fell out with the cowboy?
I don't know.
No, with the snowboy. It's even better. What happened when the cowgirl fell out with the snowboy?
I don't know.
She gave him the cold shoulder.
Oh. Proper cracker joke. Anyone want to pull my cracker?
What do you get when you cross an archer with a gift wrapper?
I don't know.
Ribbon Hood.
That's actually really good. Laura, can you tell us your favourite Christmas cracker joke?
Where do you find a hedgehog with no legs?
I don't know.
Wherever you left it.
Very good. Merry Christmas, Laura. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Some truly cracking jokes there. And we are now going to hand over to our reporter and film fanatic, Emily Murray, who is going to tell us what films we should catch over the Christmas period.
Christmas is a time for friends, family and merriment. But for film fanatics like me, there are also some great films being released to look forward to. So what films can you expect to see in your screens this festive season? The first needs no introduction.
The force is strong in my family. My father has it. I have it. My sister has it. You have that power too.
Yes, Star Wars is returning. The latest instalment, The Force Awakens, is being released on the 17th of December, and with J.J. Abrams as director, we are sure in for a treat. Expect your old favourite droids, returning characters and a hot young new cast. This is sure to be the event of the decade.
Chewie, we're home.
If science fiction isn't your thing, Ron Howard's latest film, In the Heart of the Sea, is being released this Boxing Day.
Tell me what happened. Tell me the secret of the Essex.
Promise me to come back.
Promise.
Ron Howard is known for his thrilling dramas such as Frost Nixon and Rush, and you are sure to be swept away by this tale of a whaling ship lost at sea, starring Chris Hemsworth. New Year's Day has seen some exciting releases. The first, The Danish Girl, is a remarkable true story of Lily Elbe, a Danish transgender woman who's one of the first recipients of sex reassignment surgery. Eddie Redmayne takes on the role in a tour de force performance that is sure to see him tipped for an Oscar.
I love you because you helped make me possible.
The second is the latest from director and writer David O. Russell, the man behind Oscar winners Silver Linings Playbook and American Hustle. Joy sees Jennifer Lawrence as a woman who becomes the matriarch of a powerful family business. Expect fantastic performances, plenty of laughs, and of course, much drama.
They're gonna see me no matter what.
And finally, Quentin Tarantino is back with The Hateful Eight, being released on the 8th of January.
Move a little strange, you're gonna get a bullet. Not a warning, not a question, a bullet.
A group of bounty hunters get involved in the plot of betrayal and deception. Like with all Tarantino films, expect blood, gore, dark humour and fantastic performances. Personally, I can't wait.
Around 650 hours of repeats are scheduled at the Christmas TV period. That's 60% of the overall programming. As Christmas carolers sing about the first Noel, we caught up with veteran broadcaster Noel Edmonds, who shared his views on this year's festive programming.
Christmas has never been the same since I stopped doing Noel's Christmas presents on Christmas. Actually, I could be serious about that. I still get people saying to me how much they used to enjoy those shows. I think we did show the better side of human nature. And I think we contributed to Christmas Day maybe being a little different, a little bit special. But that all deteriorated a long time ago when we got program controllers and planners who think that a Christmas show is putting a bit of polystyrene around and still doing the same show. I mean, I used to do Christmas shows which were original in content. Unfortunately, I think with the budgets we have these days, I think those days are over.
Now, are you dreaming of a white Christmas? Well, you could be lucky. Here is Kate Troy with our weather report.
Hello, a very good afternoon to you all. Now, we've had quite a misty start to the week this morning, unfortunately, and we are going to find the temperatures a lot milder. They're going to be hitting around the 9 or 10 degree mark, so we can certainly tell the colder air is present, but it's still not quite cold enough for it to snow. Now, there is quite a lot of rain around, especially tonight, where a band of rain slowly starts to make its way up from the south. It looks like Thursday, though, is going to be the worst day for rain, so I'd make sure that you've got your brollies for then. Moving on further into the week now, and as the temperatures do start to increase, but what comes with it? Well, those strong winds are back and quite a lot of rain as well. Will it be a white Christmas? I'm not quite sure.
Thank you, Kate. Well, what do you think? Will it be a white Christmas or will it just rain as usual?
Well, I can't honestly remember the last time it snowed. I think I was about 13 when it snowed, and it snowed a lot. I can remember building a snowman back in the garden, and I also built an igloo.
Wow, an igloo? I don't know whether I'd be able to attempt that. That's all for today's Quays Christmas special, and indeed for Quays News in 2015. But don't worry, we will be back in 2016 after the Christmas holidays. You can also tune in to Quays Sessions this Thursday, featuring the Hoosiers and Tom Whitehead.
To play us out, we have Mary Shanker with her rendition of the holiday classic Jingle Bells. Have a very Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. Over fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells and bobtails ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to laugh and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. A day or two ago, a story I must tell. I went into the snow, and on the ground I fell. A gent was passing by in a one-horse open sleigh. He looked at me as I lay there, and then he flew away. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Now the ground is wide, go it while you're young. Take the girls along and sing that sleighing song. Just do a bobtail bay, 240 at his speed. Hitched him to an open sleigh and Bob, he took the lead. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.